Sex and psychedelics. These are two of the most potent and also taboo topics in the world today. Sexuality is a vital force, and being reconnected to that is a huge part of our human essence. And psychedelic medicines are really just re-emerging and coming onto the scene for mental health. But maybe they can have even greater impacts when it comes to our relational lives, when it comes to the way that we relate to ourselves and our level of intimacy. And so in today's video, we're going to explore the overlap between sex and psychedelics and how the intentional use of psychedelics can facilitate greater sexual intimacy and heal a lot of sexual dysfunction. But before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe to Third Way's YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of the education and offerings that are coming out. Sexual dysfunction is at an all-time high. Men's testosterone levels have plummeted over the last 30 years. HSDD, which is about women's sexuality, a lot of women struggle to really connect with themselves and be connected to their sexual energy. There's a lot of reasons for that, which we won't go into too much detail in today's video, but I do want to emphasize that psychedelics can be a potent medicine to first heal that disconnection that's inside of ourselves, right? Because when we think about sex and psychedelics, when we think about how psychedelics can help to create a more intimate and emotionally connected container, we always have to start with ourselves, right? And we have to ask, how can we heal our own relationship to our sexual nature? How can we heal the trauma that we've gone through? How can we heal the stories that we've been exposed to? How can we heal, especially for men, maybe the addiction to pornography that we've struggled with? And psychedelic can really help with that process. Now, once we go through that healing journey with psychedelics to heal our own sexual things, a lot of sexual healing then happens within the container of a partnership. And so I want to emphasize here, there are a lot of ethical considerations where we're combining sex and psychedelics. By no means are we advocating the use of psychedelics to manipulate or to coerce anyone into any sort of sexual act that is highly unethical, and we in no way are supporting that with this video. What we are really exploring is how psychedelics within a committed partnership, within a bonded relationship, can help to heal and revitalize an individual's partnership with a loved one, with a spouse, with a wife, with a husband, with someone they've been with for 6 months or someone they've been with for 60 years. Psychedelics can play a role in helping to rekindle and heal that deep, intimate connection. And there's 3 main psychedelics that are great for that. And that's what we're going to go into in today's video. MDMA, Psilocybin, and a substance called 2CB, which was Sasha Shulgin's favorite psychedelic out of all of them. First, let's talk about MDMA. MDMA is the most commonly known substance to help with a relational container. Also called Molly, MDMA is an empathogen, a heart opener. It tends to last anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. And when MDMA is used within an intentional relational container, it allows for a full kind of communication of what is really wanting to be spoken. Oftentimes, when we are in a relationship, we hesitate or we are fearful about saying certain things to our partner because we know it could trigger them or we know it could cause a fight. And what happens when we work with MDMA is that fear response, which comes from the amygdala, that fear response is dampened. And so all of a sudden, we feel more capable of speaking our truth, and the partner that we are in relationship with isn't going to be triggered by it because their heart is so open and they're so full of love, they actually can receive that. And so very difficult things that may be blocking a relationship or causing a lot of strife and tension in a relationship can often be cleared by working intentionally with MDMA. I know a lot of couples where every 3 months they have a ritual, they have a ceremony where they commit to utilizing MDMA within the relationship because it's so helpful at reconnecting and talking about those difficult things that normally in everyday life we just sort of push aside. Now, what's also relevant here is MDMA, although it's a huge heart opener, is not necessarily an aphrodisiac. So men in particular, but also women, have a hard time with men sustaining an erection, with women, getting wet. And so a lot of times at the end of these MDMA ceremonial experiences, couples will choose to smoke cannabis because cannabis actually allows for a reactivation of that sort of sexual drive, which allows for some very, very deep and connected spaces to emerge. The second substance, psilocybin, which is in psilocybin mushrooms. If people really don't like the overly stimulating aspect of MDMA, psilocybin can be a great medicine and substance to work with. What I love to do if I'm working with psilocybin in a more intimate container is I love to combine psilocybin with substances like canna, theobromine, and damiana. So canna is a heart opener. It's an empathogen from South Africa. It's psychoactive, but very little. Theobromine is the active ingredient in cacao, and damiana is an aphrodisiac. And so oftentimes combining psilocybin with some of these herbs allows still for the dampening of the amygdala. That's what psilocybin does, that fear response. So we can really speak our truth and be held and seen in that. But combining it with a canna or a theobromine is really nice because it allows that heart space to continue to stay really, really open. And so if you're more into the organic material, the MDMA is too stimulating for you, psilocybin combined with some of these other herbs is a phenomenal way to create a really intimate container with your partner. Now, the last substance is 2CB. 2CB was invented in the 80s by a wizard chemist named Sasha Shulgin. And Sasha invented hundreds of psychedelic compounds, and he always said that 2CB was his favorite. It doesn't have the overly stimulating aspects that MDMA does. So MDMA lasts 4 to 6 hours. It has a methamphetamine component. Oftentimes, if people work with MDMA, they can't go to sleep for a very long time, which throws off their whole entire schedule for the next day. What's great about 2CB, if you can find it, because 2CB is an illegal substance, it's a Schedule I controlled substance. 2CB only lasts for 3 to 4 hours. There's no methamphetamine component with it, so it's very grounded and heart opening. And again, as an aphrodisiac, when working with 2CB, you don't need to add cannabis in at the end to be able to stimulate sexual intercourse. You can just have that 2CB, and as both a heart opener and an aphrodisiac, everything is essentially handled and taken care of in that one package. And that's why 2CB is my favorite. If I'm working at the intersection of sex and psychedelics, if I'm looking to intimately and deeply connect with a partner, 2CB for me checks all the boxes. It's 3 to 4 hours. There's no overstimulating component. It's an aphrodisiac, and it's Shulgin's favorite chemicals. It's one of the best medicines in the world. So with sexual dysfunction at an all-time high, with people really looking to reconnect to themselves, but also to their partners, psychedelic medicines are a phenomenal tool to heal issues around intimacy. MDMA, psilocybin, and 2CB are the 3 main medicines that we talked about today. And I encourage you, if this is something that you're interested in, to read more, to learn more, to do your research. And if you commit to doing this with a partner, to prepare appropriately, to potentially even bring in a coach or a therapist, which you can find in our directory at Third Wave. The link is in the description, to potentially work with a coach or a therapist who can guide you through this. Because if you've reached a point in your relationship that's very difficult, this could be something that is significantly beneficial for you and your partner. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The psychedelic space is evolving every day, and we have a ton of amazing content that's coming out, and subscribing is the best way to keep up to date with all of that great content.